It is that time of year once again. We're like a day out from the beta for Black Ops Cold War, and I thought it would be a good time to put into perspective this year of Modern Warfare and talk about its place and the rest of the Call of Duty's places in COD history and rank these games. What separates this video from all the other lists you're seeing on the internet of the best COD games of all time, we're gonna rank each game in two different ways. We're gonna rank one in overall performance of the game, basically taking into account everything about the game, and then we're gonna rank each game specifically based off competitive Call of Duty. So I'm definitely excited to see where these are going to fall into place based off the overall ranking, the competitive ranking, and where we're at as a whole. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. Let's go. So here's our template we're using today. Again, I got the green screen going, of course, today. I'm excited to bust that one out again. But we've got the S tier, the elite, the good, the okay, and the trash. And we've got the games we're ranking at the bottom. We're not ranking COD 1, 2, or 3. I know, I'm sorry all of you OGs out there for Call of Duty, but unfortunately I never played those 3 games, and so therefore I don't think I can really fairly rank them. So with that said, let's start ranking these games. So up first, we've got the original Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, aka COD 4. And I am going to take into account the Modern Warfare remastered of this game. I know that's not exactly fair to take into account its remaster, but I mean, I played COD 4 maybe once or twice originally. Unfortunately, I did play way more COD 4 remastered than I played original COD 4. I only played COD 4 at friends' houses. I never got to experience that myself. So I am coming at it with a little bit different perspective than maybe someone who played COD 4 originally. When you take it all into account, I really like COD 4 as an overall game. It introduced so much to COD as a whole, and so I think I need to put it in the elite tier. I really like COD 4 and Modern Warfare Remastered. The maps are incredible in that game. I love so many of them. And overall, it is definitely an elite COD. And I think in the competitive aspect of things too, the S&D is insane. So good in this game, but the thing is, it doesn't really have any other really great game modes. And there really wasn't a competitive scene outside of S&D for this game. But I still think the S&D is about as good as it gets in any COD. So we're putting it in the elite tier. It's amazing. So now for COD World at War. This is probably the COD, this and Modern Warfare 3 are the two CODs since COD 4 that I've played definitely the least. And COD 4, I've maybe played once or twice at like a buddy's house. So I really don't have much experience on this game. I hear it sucks, and I know competitively nobody played it because there was a lot of problems. So all things considered, I'm gonna go off of my very small experience and what I've heard about this game as a whole. I'm gonna say it's trash. And then competitively, I agree. Trash, we'll just go with that for now. Not too tough from there. Modern Warfare 2, obviously some of people's goated CODs. Personally, again, I'm a little biased. I 100% wholeheartedly admit that. I really started playing COD in Black Ops 2. I of course played MW2 at buddies' houses, and I ended up buying MW2 on my own later during that summer when BO2 was out, and played a lot of that as well. And so I definitely have played quite a bit of MW2, and I think it is a really good Call of Duty. I mean, undoubtedly in the overall category, I think you have to put it in the S tier as one of the elite CODs that have ever been released. It's a fantastic game, and the multiplayer is definitely a blast. Competitively, it definitely is tough to rank because I never personally played it competitively, so I don't have a great basis for this game specifically competitively. I'm gonna put it in the good category as a competitive game just because I didn't personally play it. It's really just a baseline ranking for me when ranking the rest of these CODs. All right, now we're to Black Ops 1. I really like Black Ops 1. Again, I didn't play this game when it was in its prime. Again, during that BO2 year when I kind of fell in love with COD, I went back and bought it, and I really enjoy BO1 as a whole. I think it's a really solid Call of Duty. It's either in good or elite. Man, I think I'm gonna, the zombies, if we're in the overall category, we gotta put this in the elite because the zombies in Black Ops 1 is fantastic. It's so good, and because of zombies, it's going in the elite category. I would say the multiplayer is probably in the good categories. Probably it had some glaring issues, but some of the maps were fantastic. As for Black Ops 1 competitively, I mean, the FAMAS on firing range is kind of legendary, but it wasn't the most well-rounded game. I'm gonna put it in good as a competitive game. I mean, a lot of pros got their starts in this game, which is obviously fantastic and great to hear for COD as a whole, but for now we'll throw BO1 in the good category. MW3, Again, like I said, this was the other COD that I've played the least. I'm just gonna put in the overall, I know some people love this game, some people hate this game. I'm gonna put it right in the middle. I'm gonna put it in good. I'm sitting the fence on MW3 because I legitimately haven't been able to really judge it myself. I should maybe make a video of myself playing MW3 for the first time. Maybe like buy it on PC and play it or something like that. Maybe I go back and like buy COD 2 and play COD 2 for the first time or something. That could be fun. So competitively for MW3, I mean, they didn't have the LAN events in MW3 because of the whole problems. And then I was like the whole situation with like OpTic playing overseas so much of the year and why there wasn't like an NA like circuit basically that whole year. It was just all online. And so because of that, I'm gonna put the competitive season for MW3 in okay. And again, I am biased because I never played it myself, and so I don't have like the emotional attachment to MW3 as a whole. I know some people put that way higher, but personally for me, I have no problem if you do. Personally for me, I'm gonna put it in the okay category. But now we get to the juicy ones, man. We got Black Ops 2. And we all know this is a goated game. This is just obviously a goated game. Again, in no spoiler, in my opinion, the best COD of all time. Overall, fantastic. The multiplayer, incredible. Legendary. Basically, every map was a banger in BO2 for zombies. And the multiplayer maps, incredible. The weapons, elite. And in my opinion, it's about as perfect of a Call of Duty as you're ever going to get. BO2, so balanced, so good, so fun. I can't talk enough about BO2. And of course, competitively, BO2. I mean, the scene really blew up in BO2. Everything about BO2 is just perfect. Even though they were working out with some of the rule sets early on competitively, and it was a little whack early on with how they were playing the competitive rule sets, by the end of the year, BO2 was in a fantastic spot. You know, league play, of course, gotta mention that. And overall, just an absolutely elite S tier, fantastic, top of the line Call of Duty, and especially an S tier in the competitive aspect of things. Fantastic. So now COD Ghosts. And again, this is a game that I personally really enjoy. I know a lot of people were really let down after the incredible experience of BO2, but overall, I really enjoyed Ghosts. Maybe it was just the time of life for me or whatever it was. Maybe just because it was my second Call of Duty I ever like played in the year that it was really popular. I have a ton of really good memories playing with buddies in Ghosts, even playing Extinction. Obviously, it's nothing like Zombies. The Zombies experience is definitely better, but honestly, I didn't hate Extinction. They had clan wars in Ghosts, and I thought the maps were good. The DLCs were really good as well. I know the original map pool wasn't ideal. There are some pretty bad maps in the original map pool, but I mean, dude, I really like Ghosts. I'm putting it in as an elite Call of Duty. I would have no problem if somebody put it in good. I totally understand that. Definitely has its glaring issues with how they do streaks, and the weapons weren't great in this game for sure. But some maps were incredible. And on the competitive side of things, Ghosts was fantastic. I have only love for Ghosts competitively. I know people hate on Blitz, people hate on playing domination, and I get that. I mean, it's not an ideal situation for competitive COD. Obviously, we'd prefer hardpoint. We would prefer like a CTF or, you know, nowadays Control or something like that. The maps in Ghosts for competitive were amazing. Octane, Warhawk, Sovereign were just the best, and I just love Ghosts, man. I get why people put it lower, but for me, it's got to be in the elite tier. What a freaking great game. AW is an interesting case, especially when you're considering it overall. The multiplayer was solid. The maps were really good in this game. I actually love the maps in this game. Shout out Dr. Disrespect. My thought process is, you know, the movement is personally terrible. I hate how they do jetpacks in this game with the boosting back and forth and side to side. Definitely not for me. I really do prefer the movement in BO3 and even IW compared to AW with just the boosting itself. But the maps were really good. The guns were really fun in this game. I mean, the BAL and the ASM one were fantastic guns. And so because of that, I do tend to dump on AW just because of the other aspects of the game. Honestly, the zombies could have been worse. It wasn't great, the zombies experience, but it wasn't terrible. I'll put it right down the line. It's a good COD, but it's definitely not in the elite or S tier CODs. You know, it could go in the okay category, but I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and throw it in the good category for now. And then competitively, it was definitely good. Some people could argue that it was elite because of how the scene was at the time. I'll put it in the good category, but you know, personally, not the greatest competitive experience. But for me that year, I didn't have a great time playing competitive COD in AW, mostly because of the people I was playing with. I didn't really have any people to play with. The ranked playlist was a little whack with using variants, and so that wasn't the best experience. At this point, I'm rambling, but I'll leave it in good. I think it's a solid competitive COD. Oh baby, Black Ops 3 is up next. I do love me some BO3. Legitimately for me, this is on the tier of S tier. I think BO3, though the movement, I can get why people don't love the wall running and the experiences of that, but personally, I really enjoyed BO3 all the way through. Even after Infinite Warfare came out, I was still hopping back onto BO3. It's a really fun game. I mean, the zombies, amazing. The zombies are incredible in BO3. The maps all through multiplayer are fantastic. The weapon balancing was about as good as it gets in Call of Duties, with so many viable guns all the way through. The score streaks were tons of fun. I know some people hate wraps and they hate some of those things that were in BO3. The specialists are usually people's biggest problem with BO3, with how overpowered some of them were, and they definitely were. I mean, competitively and in pubs, they were insanely powerful. So I totally understand that complaint coming from that sense, but realistically, I didn't mind the specialists in this game. I actually kind of liked them. Heatwave, though really annoying when it happened to you. And I guess we can talk about competitive. I'm going to leave this in elite for pubs. But in competitive, again, the league play wasn't ideal in this game. It was kind of trash, kind of like thrown in there. They had the voting system, which was pretty obnoxious, even though it created for some different experiences. Inside of league play itself, the voting system was toxic, and half the time you'd never even be able to use the VMP or the M8 or Dead Silence or something like that. So I'm right on the fringe of S tier and elite as a competitive Call of Duty. I mean, the viewership experience for competitive COD was fantastic throughout the year, even though some of it was online. Man, I don't know. This is really tough. You played CTF and Uplink, which I forgot to mention. Uplink in AW was awesome. I will give AW that AW had an incredible Uplink game mode, and BO3 did it really well as well. Man, I think personally, I love Ghost, like I said, and I think I liked BO3 even more. Even though I don't know I necessarily like it as much as BO2. BO2 probably should be in a category of its own, which is why it's hurting me to put BO3 in the same category as BO2. I mean, I loved it through and through the whole year competitively, so I mean, man, screw it. We're putting in the S tier. BO3 S tier COD competitively. Let's go. So now we're to Infinite Warfare. So we go from the highs of the highs to, my opinion, the lows of the lows. Okay, man, I gotta put this in trash, man. I'm sorry, especially overall. Overall, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare is a trash game. It's just terrible. The only redeeming factor of IW in like a big overall sense is the zombies experience was actually surprisingly solid. The space zombies, or like the 80s themed zombies, I can't remember what exactly it was called, was actually a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. So in that sense, maybe I could move it up to okay. And I'd have no problem if somebody put it in like okay or maybe in good. There's no way this COD is in the elite tier. If anybody puts IW in the elite tier, they are crazy. This game was pretty bad. For the sake of zombies, I have no problem with okay, but I'm gonna leave this thing in trash because the multiplayer was so bad. It was by far the least I'd ever played a multiplayer. It's not even close. I played Modern Warfare Remastered almost this whole year, and that leading us into our competitive aspect. I truly don't like Infinite Warfare. I get that it was pretty watchable. Like the watching aspect of IW wasn't terrible, but again, no league play. There was like a competitive playlist again. Like it was just terrible. I'm putting it in trash. I get that some people might enjoy the hard points, and again, there were some decent maps in this game. I mean, Throwback is a great map, even in comparison to other Call of Duties. If you wanted to put IW in the okay category for competitive as well, I'm, no pun intended, okay with that. But I'm gonna leave it in the hot garbage trash category for now. Oh yes, Call of Duty World War II. I mean, as an overall game in the big picture, I mean, it's all right. It's okay. I mean, public match wise, I played like 0 pubs except for War. I actually really enjoyed War as a game mode. I know that wasn't like the overall consensus, I don't think, at least, but as like a party game mode to play with your buddies, it was really fun. I actually really enjoyed it and had some good memories with some of my buddies who don't play competitive COD. The Call of Duty World War II like zombies experience was pretty underwhelming. I don't really like look on it with fond memories. At least to me, as the overall game, COD World War II is in the okay or good category. I'm a little torn. I think as an overall game, I think I like it less than as a competitive game. So I'll leave COD World War II in the okay category, but I think it could easily be in the good category. I really don't have a problem with that. Competitively, I mean, the rank play was really solid this year. Obviously, it took a while to come out, and then you couldn't play in parties of 3, and like they messed around with how big of parties you could play with for a while, which was really annoying and actually really pissed me off. I think as a competitive game, I have to put it in the good category. The S&D was really fun in this game. Basically through all the maps, and CTF was real solid in this game. We had some solid competitive maps to choose from. Public match wise, the multiplayer was not worth it with those maps, but competitively, London Docks, Ardennes Forest, you know, some solid maps there to play competitively. So honestly, not bad. I put World War II with rank play and all the experiences I had in the good category as a competitive Call of Duty. So now we made it to Black Ops 4, and I mean, my initial instinct right off the rip is to put it in the good category. I mean, realistically, all throughout the year, I kept playing BO4 pubs. I actually really liked BO4 pubs. I mean, the specialists were, you know, not as OP as BO3, but still pretty OP. I don't think it affected the pub's experience that badly. The maps were pretty solid. They had a variety of game modes to keep it fresh with like the, what was it called? Like the team deathmatch domination or something on those lines where your kills counted as points. And the map selection for multiplayer was actually tons of fun because you had like slums, you had summit, you had grind coming back as a DLC. And so really, I'm kind of moving myself up towards an elite Call of Duty here. It's right on the fringe. It's probably at the top of the good category for me. I really like BO4. The zombies experience, I didn't even like really play it at all. I gave it like maybe a try once or twice. It wasn't fun for me. So with that said, I think I'll leave it in the good category for now. In the competitive aspect of things, is it better than AW? Is it better than World War II? I think it is. I think it is. I'm gonna put it in the elite category. I mean, it had a rank play, though not a good one. It had a very average, below average ranked play, and it was extremely confusing, and there was a lot of problems, and it came out really late. But overall, Respawn was really fun in this game. S&D was definitely solid. They introduced Control, and Control was a blast all the way throughout the year. With that all in mind, I think it was a better year than Advanced Warfare and World War II. Black Ops 1 and MW2, yeah, I think BO4 is definitely an elite Call of Duty when it comes to competitive. Ah, yes, good old Modern Warfare. So I'm very conflicted when it comes to Modern Warfare. Very, very conflicted. Obviously, the developer support on the year sucked. It was terrible. It was so bad. And I'll have more to say about that in the competitive conversation, of course. I mean, from overall game conversation, it's not that bad. It's really not. It definitely has its problems with how they tuned weapons, and the patch updates and the maps are terrible for the multiplayer. But Ground War, I actually really enjoyed Ground War on the year. And then Warzone really keeps it afloat. Again, I'm not a huge BR guy. I didn't even mention it with Black Ops 4. Again, I'm conflicted with BRs when it comes to how they play in COD. I'm not a huge fan of BRs in COD. My favorite BR of all time is definitely PUBG. If that tells you anything, I really like the tactical, slow gameplay aspect of battle royales, and with a focus on the win, not a focus on the kills. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. I just like the sniping in PUBG a ton. And so that's kind of why. And I do think that BRs are better on PC, which I don't play COD on PC. So a lot of factors there to think about and process with. But I mean, Modern Warfare had crossplay, which is definitely a huge plus. And Ground War is solid. You know, the Battle Royale is good. I'll put it in the okay CODs. It's better than Infinite Warfare, which is definitely a fact. If you want to argue on me that Modern Warfare is worse than Infinite Warfare, you know, competitively, maybe. But as a whole game, it's definitely solid. Like, it's definitely not the worst thing ever. And I can see why pub people like it. The multiplayer is complete garbage, and the maps are so bad. And this is the worst COD for maps ever, by far. And it's not close. And so going into a competitive conversation, when you consider how bad the maps are this year, it's hard to put it in the good category. And I know most people would put it immediately in the trash category. And I get that people don't love the dead silence and how it plays or the trophy systems as a field upgrade. I don't mind it that bad, guys. I don't mind it that bad. I'm gonna put it in the okay category. I'm sorry if I'm offending you guys out there with Modern Warfare in the okay category. My problem is, again, I think the guns were a ton of fun this year. The M4, the MP5, though OP AF, were tons of fun. The maps sucked. There was no league play. So with all that considered, I get why you would say that, but I honestly really enjoyed S&D this year. and I loved it all the way through. All the way through, I enjoyed playing game battles and playing competitive S&D. The developer support was beyond trash. I mean, the developer support, they literally don't care one bit about competitive Call of Duty, which really pisses me off. And that's more at Infinity Ward than at the game they created itself. But at some point, you gotta, you know, throw that involved with the competitive year as a whole. So there's the rankings as competitive COD. Right there, you got BO2 and BO3 in its S tier. And you got Modern Warfare, Ghost, BO4, and Elite, and you go down the list there. Overall, I didn't take any of the campaigns into account because I don't play campaigns. I play COD for the multiplayers. I mean, I heard that this year's campaign was really good. That's awesome. I'm excited to hear that. But I have not played this year's campaign. I did not play last year's campaign. I did not play World War II's campaign. I did not play Infinite Warfare's campaign. The last campaign I played was Ghosts. And it was a decent one. So, you know, hey, there you go. And maybe I put a little bit of Advanced Warfare's, but I didn't finish Advanced Warfare. So there it is, guys. There's my tier list for all the Call of Duties. I'd love to hear where you disagree with me. Obviously, I know you guys are going to disagree with me. So drop all your comments down below about where I'm right, where I'm wrong, and which COD I have the worst ranking about, and why Modern Warfare is the worst COD of all time. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you guys really enjoy it. Drop all your comments down below, like I said. But as always, guys, I'm your boy, EVERY CoD, and we will see you next time. I'm out.